Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested by the creator, and it's the map from last Tuesday, if you remember last Tuesday, that I said was broken and I was hoping that the creator was going to be able to fix it. Well, they spent some time on it and they have fixed it, but it's a really weird thing and I don't understand either. So the problem happened to be Theme Mixer 2. Now this map doesn't use the mods, so it's safe to uninstall it, but if you have it installed, this map will be broken. I don't know how that can possibly affect it, but it does. Now, a quick heads up.
It's my first map.
That's right, even though we have done Quirky before, this is their first work. And I don't know if you can hear any rattling outside my window, that's because we have a storm blowing outside. What will go down the storm right down with me is one of these. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, doesn't get the weather to go away outside, and if it comes in, then I'm just going to get soaked. Please hold, Windows, please hold. Okay, today's map is Christmas Islands by quirkygeekgirl. Now, we did Quirky very recently. Do you remember this? I think it was the Autumnal Dream. Loads and loads of autumnal colours. Now we're into the middle of winter. There's your start square. Do you know what? The colours of this map remind me of a toothpaste commercial. There's your terrain heights. Again, lots of lovely buildable space on today's map and some interesting mountain backdrops too. Resources are good and strong in the areas that we have. Good and strong resources. Cannot complain about that one. We're all centered on the 25 tiles too. If you do happen to have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, that is definitely a Jackson Pollock. Lovely. A good work there. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, it's a Park Life, Snowfall and After Dark map. You will need all three of those. There is a one-click collection which we'll look at in a moment. We'll be using the Clear Winter theme and the Relight Cool LUT. And then we'll head over to the collection. Now, there are a few things on here that I didn't see. That doesn't mean they're not there. Especially, I saw the monolith on this list. I'm sure it's on the map. I didn't have all day to go around looking for everything. Parkify is a mod that you need for this map as well. I don't know if that makes any difference if you don't have it, but I think if you've got Park Life, you probably should be having that. Anyway, quite an extensive list of things to subscribe to, but I reckon it's certainly probably worth it for the map. Without them, the map might be a little bit mundane. The map isn't mundane. The map is very playable. It's got a few minor grumbles about it, and of course, because it's Snowfall, it's going to not appeal to everybody. Now, we do have a little bit of a jinky-janky on these bridges right here. See that? We just skipped over the jinky-janky there. That was a weird thing. It's pillar alignment is a bit weird there. Not a huge problem because we're outside of the 25 tiles, of course, at that point. Now, we do have a few trees on the road here and there. It's a quite common thing. And I'm going to recommend to anybody making a map from now on in, make sure you got the Move It mod and then click and drag a marquee over the roads with just the trees and trees and props selected. And if you definitely don't want any trees, because there may be a reason for you to have trees and rocks on your roads. There are reasons, like an abandoned road or something like that. I get that. So those things you leave, obviously. These sort of things, once you've clicked and dragged over the area, just over the road and any very, very close to the road trees that you might have, click and drag, select just the trees and props, and click the bulldozer tool on the Move It mod, and that will just get rid of the trees that are on your roads. And you won't get any of this. Of course, if you're not playing with Anarchy, you won't see any of this, but I have to include it because a lot of the detailers out there will be playing with Anarchy, and you may have things that you want to show through the trees in terms of detailing. Now, we have a custom bridge. This is quite well placed. It's nigh on perfect. I say nigh on, not quite, but it's close enough. It's okay on this side. Come over this side. We've got we're clipping a little bit through. It's very difficult, very, very difficult to get these big props centered on the on the custom bridge, the custom bridge prop centered on regular bridges or elevated roads as they would be. It's not easy to get it absolutely precise, and that is what we see there. That is more than adequate. I would say that is good, if not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect, but it is good. Then we have some tiered height. Do you know what? That works. Actually, that does work. I'm not going to grumble about that. And got some nice looking lane merging there as well. So no problems there either, really. Yeah, we've got a little bit of wobbly and a little bit of jinky janky in the highway, but it's not too bad. Again, it's only because all I do all day is look at highways. And I see these things and they stand out to me. Your average player isn't going to mind those things. Intersection here. I think we're down near the start square somewhere, I think. A little bit of jinky janky coming off of here as well there. And see how he just jankies off a little bit. Nice looking intersection though. Just a little bit of fine tuning with the move it tool. Also, yeah, the off ramp here is a bit odd. A bit of an odd on ramp as well, which is also elevated at ground level. Now, where was the start? Oh, it is actually right here. So yeah, it's quite an interesting, quite pleasing entrance to the city, apart from like the couple of stray trees that we've got there. A little bit of a snowdrift where we have a little bit of a road glitching where it's been squeezed a bit tight. Now normally that looks like grass, but because it looks like snow because of the snowfall theme, well, it looks like snowdrift, and actually you get away with it, which is why I'm not going to mark down the map on that one. Because it looks quite viable as an actual thing. Plus, it's not actually going across the road, so it's not actually going to cause any crashes or disasters. Just kind of works. More trees down here. I was heading towards the edge of the map, but do you know what? We'll pretend we're at the edge of the map. That's a little roundabout potential start location. And we have a terminus for the rail here as well. We have no catenary chaos, which is always a pleasure. I have to say that. The rail comes around here to a terminus over here as well, with everybody's favourite factory. No catenary chaos here either. Actually very pleased by that. I was expecting just a little bit here and there, and couldn't find any. So that's a good thing. Now heading off along the rail across the map. We could have gone straight to the edge of the map there, but I think we want to head across the map. Just make sure we haven't got anything that looks too quirky, as in Quirky Geek Girl Quirky. And I'd say that this certainly looks perfectly fine to me. Now, we've got the rail at this point, then goes into a bit of a gradient. I would have liked to have seen that gone into a tunnel. It would have made a bit more sense at that location. And then have it emerge just over here onto the elevated section here. Directly onto the elevated, not via an embankment. And then, yeah, we're heading off towards the edge of the map. So yeah, a little bit of gradient issue off over this side. But again, it's a fantasy style map. It really is a fantasy style map. So there's some of that you're not actually going to mind too much if you're playing on this map. Right, heading off now towards the edge of the map, which means time for a little bit of an intermission. And yes, it's going to be that one. You know which one.
Have you ever wanted to create a snow scene in your summer city, but you're not interested in buying the Snowfall DLC? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Snow Without DLC by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Christmas Islands and the shipping routes. Now we've got an interesting double shipping triangle here. That works really quite nicely. Then the shipping line comes up through the middle of the bridge there. That is fine. Don't have any problems there. Another nice shipping triangle going on there. So again, Quirky has been watching the show and has realised through the middle of the bridge there. That's nice. Has realised those shipping triangles do make all of the difference, even if they're not the most polished. Just having one prevents sharp turns. So yeah, polished ones. Yeah, that's still enough through the middle. We do have a bit of a sharp turn there, and we go through some very shallow water here. That's going to look a little bit weird if you have any shipping going in up that way. Over the sandbank and a really sharp turning there. Quite deep into the fog at that point, so it's probably not going to be noticed. And we do have another sharp turning here potentially, but again quite a long way out from the land. Water flow, it's very strong. We've got multiple spawn points, probably too many, possibly. I'm going to say possibly too many. Even one down by the actual start square, down this route here, you'll see another one pushing out water right there in all directions. So yeah, I think it's kind of overdone, but I cannot fault the fact that we have strong water flow. So there you go. There you go. Quirky definitely is getting quite handy with her water tool. Now, with the lighthouses, the problem with it, there is a bit of a problem with the lighthouses. We're not using the essential lighthouse here. And the problem with the lighthouses is, while we've got a one-click collection, the one-click collection doesn't actually include all the requirements for the individual assets. Like, have a look at this. We come in here, we're missing a little bit off the top of the lighthouse. Now, that is there. If you actually click through to the asset page, that is all there, and yeah, you can... But yes, when you're actually adding things to your one-click collection, you kind of... any requirements that those items have to be in that one click, because people aren't going to go searching for them. Anyways, that's just a little lesson for today. Then down here we got a nice little feature area. There are some nice little feature areas on this map, I've got to say. And here we've got one which includes a nice little custom footpath bridge, very neat. Again, we've got more trees spoiling the party, but again, that does look very nice indeed. And does this. I wasn't sure. I was looking at this going, how is this? And it works so well. It just like looks frozen over. I really like this. If we have a look, call up Move It, and just grab one of them. There you go. It's all hand placed. That works really very nicely indeed. And if nothing else, that is a high point. A real high point for me on this map, and it might give other Snowfall creators some ideas about maybe frozen over lakes, because it does look like it's frosted rather than foliage, doesn't it? I think so anyway. Now over here we've got a big mountain here that looks like it's been made out of clay with a thumbprint. First of all, it'd be great for for skiing, but here we've got like a thumbprint that's been smudged down the side of the mountain. Do you know what? I think it works. I think it actually works. And in terms of mountains, it's my favourite mountain on the map. We've got loads of little outlying islands as well, which would be great for building into and onto if you've got more than the 25 tiles available. And then we got this mountain range here, which isn't my favourite. It's a good attempt at a fantasy world, loads of waterfalls, loads of little lakes, and it's not bad, but it just doesn't quite tick my magical button, you know? Yeah, I have a magical button. Now, waterfalls, I like this. One thing on it, though, that if this was my map here, I'd be doing something about, we've got a little bit of a glitch on the waters. Very hard to get rid of those are, but you keep tinkering with it. But that is a really smart waterfall, as is this one, although this isn't what you're expecting. You're going to be expecting a standard waterfall, but I'm going to show you that this really isn't. This is far from it. Let me call up the terrain lines. There we go. Now, if you have a look here, it actually drops way before. And what's causing the waterfall here are these two spikes actually halfway down. That is, and it makes it look like we've actually got a solid wall behind it. But we haven't. That is... unusually magnificent. I think it could do a little bit more work on the actual spikes, because they look a bit spiky. But still, I'm quite pleased with that. Also really pleased with like the amount of like the rock texture along here is just balanced perfectly with the snow there. That's a good point. I'm going to counterbalance that now with a not so good. Like if we have a look at this lump of rock here, well, there's no texture really in that, just a little bit of texture on it, and it's too much of the same. I think the fix there would be that mountain there on the right, just to taper it down, maybe to about half the height. So we could bring it down to maybe about this level, and maybe just go to higher points and just slightly build it up and across. And then you get slightly less of that big swathe of blackness of the rock texture. Which, yeah, it's a tough one. It's not an easy thing to do, getting the balance right. What have we got down here? Little lake going on here. That's quite sweet as well. So I'd say we've got some really nice little feature areas. Oh, hello. What is this? That's a ramp? I think that's actually a glitch. But Okay, let's just see, get the whole thing in context. So we've got like a little rocky fall area there. What's going on down here? A little house down here. Up this road, we've got a viewing point. Okay, that's fine. So yes, so you're driving down this road really fast. Really, really fast. You're the Dukes of Hazzard. They're the good old boys. Never meaning no harm. That's dangerous. That's gonna be slippery taking that at speed on the bend as well. And where are you gonna land? Ah, takes me back to race day. A poor German driver in the tree. Anyway, back to the start square. We have an asset of the day, and it is right there, just off that little parky type area. Very neat. And this is very neat as well. This is UK through and through. Council Estate Shop. These are, we call them, we're going to the shops. You say in certain parts of the world, we're going to the stores. But yes, Council Estate Shop by Brammered. This is like a working class area that you go down, you bite into beans and you get your hair cut and all that kind of stuff. And factoids, because factoids. St. John the Evangelist was the only one of the 12 apostles to die a natural death. What is a natural death? I guess not being like crucified or stoned is probably a natural death. I didn't actually know that one. I should read the Bible more. I probably won't, but I should. Let's have a look at some of these stores while we're here. First of all, we've got a nice Christmassy decorations out here. One Stop. Yes, that is a little grocer's, a little convenience store. Your one-stop shop. Tasty Pizza, little independent pizza company. And Tony's for the barbers. Hang on. Just make out the telephone number on the... Oh, I've got to phone it. I've got to actually do this. Hang on.
Tasty Pizza. Can I take your order, please?
Oh, shit. Whatever you do, don't prank cool pizza companies. You can get into trouble. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Anyway, right. We're kind of done, which means I think if we can find a spot for a thumbnail, it's time for your vote. What do you think of today? Oh dear. What do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free using a Patreon account or a Facebook account or a Gmail account or even an Apple account if you've got one of those. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I think it's tasty. No, it's okay. I think there's some really nice 4-star areas. I just think that it's just lacks something in some areas as well. I can't go 4 stars because there are some big chunks that you drag it down. But I think it's worth more than a middle 3. I'm going to go for a medium-high 3. Detailing. Again, we've got some really interesting little feature areas, some bizarre stuff, that ramp, but not really much holding it back apart from a few trees on the road. I'm going to go down the middle on the 3 on this one. I want to go higher, but I just can't. Gameplay potential. Do you know what? I think this is quite a playable map. The trees are going to be a job to remove, and I want to go for... I'm just trying to think if I can just... I don't think I'm so close. I'm going to go high 3. Still the pass mark. Still nothing wrong with this map, really. Christmas Islands by Quirky Geekgirl. A Snowfall Maps Go. That one ain't too bad at all. If you play that map, you'll be quite happy. You might just have to remove a few trees. That's going to be the thing. It's always the trees. Thanks, Quirky. Really nice to see. I'm sure your next map will be a summer map, won't it? Or spring map, of course. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and now elite. Use the words of the day into the comments for 100 population points just for fun. And of course, that pizza thing, that was just a skit. Thanks, Katie.